Thank you, everybody. Just, I think we have still 1 or 2 minutes to welcome our colleagues who are coming, and yes, I'm begging just for you, just have permission just to start, let's say in 2 or 3 minutes, okay? Okay, please just keep relaxed, and we have time, we have really impressions, and I think 2 or 3 minutes left is just available to us. Okay, just in 2 or 3 minutes, okay.
Hello.
Okay. Good morning once more to everybody. First of all, I'll apologize because the time was just at 11 a.m., but the flexibility also is sometimes acceptable. Welcome to this meeting. We are really very proud that you could found your time to come to share your wonderful time and impressions with us. And next, we are at this university, which has really formulated this opportunity. And I think all of you here, and even those who are online, they appreciate this because this is to value the community, international community, and the local community, and everybody. All of us, we have participated to this meeting, and its success is our success. Okay, I think it will be successful. This is why you are here, and let's do our best to come to this success. We have here the community, the committee, the organizing committee, which was working last time to come to this day. And next, we have also many members who are here, the so-called English post coordinators, who were really just hardly working last time to come. It was some idea like, okay, you have the Kilimanjaro, you have Everest, and now just go ahead. It was hard, and really some good appreciation to this committee. And last but not the least, we have our officials who just, when this idea came out, just, okay, the green light is, and now please prove. I think that it was worth to welcome this green light. And to start now, welcome the rector of the university, Professor Shoskevich, to give an address. Professor Shoskevich, welcome.
Morning, everybody. It's a great day today that we have this conference, which makes a great progress, a new, very important element of our international studies. As you know, as we all agree that international studies are extremely important for our university. They are important for every university, but we pay special attention for this element. And organizing this conference is a great achievement. Just know that this conference is announced as first. So it's quite rare that they start conferences, and usually it is a conference and then there's a second. This is quite exceptional that this is a first, so it means that this is a very ambitious plan to carry on in the future. So I will always support you with this. So thank you very much once again. Thanks for organizing. Thank you to all the organizers, Professor Yata, all international and Polish students which are involved in this event. Congratulations for Vice Rector for Studies. So I wish you a pleasant day today. Yeah, have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Rector, for this address. Now, all these activities, Rector, Professor Piotr Szuszarz, Vice Rector for Studies. And now we know why just it's the basement. Applause to him. Just because he did them much more than I.
I don't think so. It's difficult to give an address following our rector, but I try to say something original also. First of all, I cordially welcome all of you at this first scientific conference of our foreign students. As the rector said, it is a really important day for us because this conference is the first opportunity to show the activities and achievements of our foreign Master of Science students. So, year by year, the number of foreign students at our university is growing. We are really proud of this. But, and so, we all really want to include all foreign students as deep as possible into our university community. And this conference is a very important step on this way. So once again, I want to really thank you, Professor Jean Biata, for your organization effort, for your ideas of care and involving students in our university. I also want to say thank you to all our courses coordinators at all faculties and our students coordinators from PULS-ISA International Students Association. And also I want to thank to all of you for your participation and contribution to this conference. I think you can be, all of you can feel like winners today, and you can be proud of your achievements. So I wish good luck for all of you for today and all the next days. Thank you.
As I came from it, nothing to add, nothing to reduce. Okay. Just to come to the team, some address from the PULS-ISA coordinator. His name is Salim Rashid. He's the general coordinator. About details how this PULS-ISA works. This is also some achievement of our university here. And he will give also some address in the name of the coordinators. He will be also participating in the flow of this conference. And Sally, welcome. Just some address to the colleagues, to attendees, to special guests. Welcome.
Everyone, the director, the vice rector for studies, the vice rector for science and education affairs, the PULS-ISA, and the panel of judges, the distinguished ladies and gentlemen, everyone once again. My name is Sali Rashid Oladavide. I'm the general coordinator for our Poznan University of Life Sciences International Student Association, known as PULS-ISA. And we have a role also to play at PULS-ISA. And of course, I'll be one of the hosts for today. So at PULS-ISA, there is a way we organize. This is about coordinating the International Student Association affairs. So we have many other departments under PULS-ISA. I'm the general coordinator. We have Peace Obe. Please stand up for recognition. She's the coordinator for science and studies. We have Brenda Kendi, who is the coordinator for dormitories. We have Sionesta Nyagba, who is the coordinator for arts and culture. We have Daniel Daramola, who is the coordinator for sports and recreation. Then we have Temitope Adaramoti, who is the coordinator for promotion. A leader who directs the general affairs of our events, which is Professor Jean Data. So this is how it functions at PULS-ISA. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much. And we have also one of actively working within the PULS-ISA and Polish Student Association at our university, Milena Shafran. Welcome.
Yes, now this is my turn just to give a summary of
some idea of this conference. And yes, please let me walk, take for sure only 2 to 5 minutes of the presentations. First of all, if you allow, just our university, we are just 100 university, that means we have a good tradition. And it means many things were done, and among others, just we came today to this meeting. That means the vision of the university just reached a long time. And we have Augustus, just who is our patron, and this is just our proud of the university, and this makes us just really very, very visionary, because his vision just reached 100 years back. And just also, our university works strongly for this idea. You know well that knowledge, and here today students will show really their knowledge. And what that means is knowledge. This knowledge is just to change the world. We are the world, and this world just also today will be changing accordingly. What that means changing, that means what we gain from many, many of this information. This is the gain, and this gain makes us changing, okay? And here, if you are just, okay, we have the rectors, just the president of the university, and we have the vice rectors, just the 4 just heads of the university who are still in the university and who made also this meeting to come successful. Also, as you could imagine, yes, we have got a high patronage of this meeting, and this makes us really very proud to be here today. Just now about this PULS-ISA, just to give some idea how it works. Really, it works good enough. And this is the scheme which maybe can be some inspirations maybe to other universities in Poland to make such possibilities. It is really some common agreement and common success. And the general coordinator who was just exchanging now just some minutes ago, he is here, and I'm here. And now you know how just all this works from left to right, or from right to left. This schedule is easy to lead, but it should be just a goodwill and a vision. And this vision has started some good 5 years ago, and it works. And this vision has made us we're here today. Okay. At our university, we are very, very rich in education offer. This educational offer, we have up to 10, as you see, courses. This is really tremendous vision of the Leaders University to open to the world. That means the knowledge comes from the world, and also we give some warranty to this knowledge. And now, just not to abuse your time, the PULS-ISA coordinators, just they are here, as you see. They have functions, specific functions. And this is really some achievements. It's not easy, but I think these achievements is something which we can say, okay, the whole area of active university is covered, okay, and by students who know how to work, how to communicate. And next, this is just the photos, just I think here at the left corner, maybe you recognize who is there, but I don't know who is there, but welcome everybody. Okay, next year. Okay, thanks a lot. Wish you. Thank you. Now, just we start sharing our impressions. The first speaker, Mr. Michael Omonitan, sorry for this, and Vice Rector for Studies. I welcome you to come just to invite just the first you have the priority. Just we follow it. Just you have just to announce, to invite.
Okay, it's a pleasure for me to invite, to introduce to all the participants, Mr. Michael Amonian, Master of Science in Agri-Food Economics and Trade, who will give us the lecture, Role of Agri-Food Economics in Promoting Sustainable Practices within the Food Production Chain. Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, we have 12 minutes, and at 11 minutes, the specific rain will come. We have particularly 12 minutes, but at 11, we have the specific rain. Please keep the time. Thank you.
All protocols duly observed. It's great to be here this morning, and I am Michael Omobuton, representing Agri-Food Economics and Trade. So today, we will be talking about the role of agri-food economics in promoting sustainable practices within the food production chain. And here are the things we are going to talk about this morning. And of course, to dive right into it, as economists and as agricultural experts, we are always faced with charts and graphs like this. So I believe in the year 1987, when we had the Broadland report of our common future, they would be saying to us, in the coming future, but right now, I'm here to show us the present reality of the world. If we take a look at this chart, we can see the current reality of the world. We can see the population growth. In 2023, the whole world has a population of 8 billion. In 2015, it is projected to be 9.7 billion. And in 2086, 10.43 billion. That is huge for the world. And when we look at this chart also, we can see the average temperature anomaly globally. We could see the increase in the trend right from 1850 to 2024. This is the current reality of the world. This is the current situation of the world. So as agricultural economists, we are faced with the role to actually bring a balance. We are faced with this issue of increasing population and a change in climate. So our role is to try and strike a balance in this concept to be able to ensure a sustainable future for the coming generations. So to go, we will also talk about the concept, and according to the 1987 Broadland Report, Our Common Future, sustainable development was defined as a development that meets the present need of the world without jeopardizing or compromising the ability of the future generation. And when it also talked about our food production chain, we can see the chain right down here, which is similar to the farm to fork strategy this day, where we have food production till it reaches the final consumer. So what are challenges being faced? What are the problems? We could see there resource depletion. In the world today, we are making use of a lot of resources. And using much more resources than we actually need. Climate change, of course, is no news to us today. And when we talk about social inequality, according to a report by an organization called Development Initiatives in 2023, they said that 50% of the poorest population, they earn just 8% of the total income, while 10% of the rich, they share 50% of the whole income. This shows the amount of disparity. This shows the amount of gap and distance between the rich and the poor. This is also a problem. And of course, problem of pollution. Air pollution kills about 9 million people every year. This was said by World Bank in their report in 2023. So these are challenges. These are issues we are facing at the moment. And this also brings us to talking about sustainable development, sustainability. And as we can see here on this chart, we could see that sustainable development is divided into 3 dimensions or more, but we have the main ones to be environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, and social sustainability. And today, I would also give us a case study and show us a case study while looking at each of these dimensions. So, as agricultural economists, what can we do? These are the problems. What can we do? We have these tools to promote sustainability. We have taxes or charges which could be in form of carbon pricing. We also have subsidies. This day, the European Union is doing a lot to support farmers in forms of direct subsidies, deposit and refund system, where you purchase something and by the time you return, take for example a beverage, when you return the bottle, you get a refund on your deposit, and also tradable permit. So we could see here, based on research, based on what researchers have been working on, case studies and empirical evidence of where these economic tools actually worked. In this study in the year 2020, we could see that subsidies from the Common Agricultural Policy have a positive impact on the overall sustainability of European farms. This is an evidence that these economic tools actually work. And also, we could see in the next bullet point that carbon pricing will largely decrease carbon emission. So when we put these things, when everything are in place, it means there is obviously hope for the future. So right now, I would show us a case study based on my own personal research work, and I know that we would find it interesting. So I worked on this research with my professor, Supervisor Professor Alexandra Wuchard, and it's about the environmental aspect of sustainable development in EU countries. So, when I was thinking about my research, I was faced with this image. We could see on the left-hand side the economic dimension of sustainable development. We could see on the right-hand side the social dimension, family, and we could see the wind vanes and the turbines in the background, which represent the environmental aspect. And we could also see the trash in the middle, which shows us that there is still a gap we need to fill. So how do we fill this gap? Through my research, I worked on these main objectives and methodologies, and I will build and dwell more on the last 2 objectives, where I used a multi-dimension analysis, which is called TOPSIS, to actually see the level of sustainable development of European Union countries. So these are the processes, and it's all about working with data, because from data we are able to get evidences of what works and what doesn't work. So these are the processes. I went through the variables selection from Eurostat database to actually pick up some indicators that can influence our sustainable development. We also have to be very careful about outliers. So I use the 2 keys method to identify the outliers. I've been summarized the data, also went through normalization, and as part of the TOPSIS process, is to calculate the positive ideal solution and the negative ideal solution. I also calculated the Euclidean distances, and just to get the synthetic measures of each of the dimensions. So these are the indicators which I worked with at the end. We could see them divided into the economic, social, and environmental indicators. These are variables which helped us to explain sustainable development. So going to my results as I have them, we could see right now the economic dimension of sustainable development. We can see that Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark are actually doing well based on my analysis, and we see the ranking of each of the countries and those countries which are also in the lower aspect. And here is a chart which shows the map of these countries. We can see the Scandinavian countries in the northern part of Europe doing well, and the countries in the eastern part like Bulgaria, Romania still lagging behind. And here is for the social submeasure, and this is a map. It's also the same story. Here is for the environmental, and most important aspect here, we can see the countries that are actually doing well overall, the likes of Austria. Austria has a high level in all three dimensions of sustainable development. One funny result I saw was about Germany, because see, Germany is doing well, but when it comes to the social aspect, there is still a lot to do. Countries like Italy has low, but and Poland, of course, we can see is still in the medium-low category. So to round up, this just gives us and shows us the disparity between these countries. And as economics, when we are able to know where each country lies, we are able to come up with recommendations and conclusions that target the areas where each country needs help. And I worked with these resources. Thank you so much for listening.
Okay. Thank you. I think some two short questions are really expected. Okay, please just address the microphone to two short questions and two short answers. Okay, thank you. Congratulations, really, for these presentations, and just welcome the questions.
Good afternoon. My name is Anil Patishta. Your title is very important, very interesting. So it would be very difficult for me to make a very small, a short question, giving the importance of your title. So please bear with me. I have actually three questions. So my first question is, how can you incorporate food production to technology development and technology advance when it comes to economics? Because when we look at traditionally, how we look at food production, usually we look at earth, ground, plant, production, yeah? But technology is actually saying to us now that we can actually even produce food from the land, yeah? So how can you incorporate that in your title? Yeah, that's one. The second one is, how can you give me an example of social sustainability when you incorporate technology into it? Because you know that as an economist that you are, you know that technology will give you an idea of how to produce food, yeah? And economy is to have finances, yeah? But technology usually, it is not in agreement with society, yeah? Think about AI and all the things that we are inventing, and it comes into contradiction. I'll give you one example for this question. They are producing food.
We have some rules. I'm sorry. Two questions short and two answers.
Yeah, this is my last question.
No. Just please conclude. I'm sorry for this because
I'm concluding.
to conclude, you have one
In
second.
Tokyo, they are
Okay.
producing meat from humans in the lab and make it as food. So I want you to incorporate that. And also, I just want you to.
Please don't disrupt this
Beautiful
program
thing.
because we have some rules.
Very beautiful
Okay.
title you have.
Thank you. Yes, I think yes, he has consumed your time. I can answer. It was perfect, and please applause to our guest and we move to another one. Thank you. Okay, we have just the time, the coffee time, and the questions. I think our first speaker will give much more details to our questions. I think we agree with these options. Okay, and thank you. Now, just let me introduce the next speaker, Augustus Asemota. Welcome about the sustainability. Welcome, yes. Augustus. Okay, and please keep the timeline because just it is requested for us. Okay, welcome. Please start. This is yours.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Soil is more than just dirt. Soil is more than just dirt. I noticed when I passed the soil to our honorables here, after touching it, they touch their hands like this, try to dust it off. Why? Because it's dirt to him now. It stains him and he doesn't want it to stain. When I was a kid growing up, to me, soil was something I play with. We gather at our balcony, arrange ourselves, make different sand castles. I even learned how to prepare my first jollof rice. But now I prepare it better because I use actual rice, not sand. So engineers and builders, soil is where they lay their first foundation. So agriculture it is our what? Simple essence of life, where food is grown and every other thing. So biologists, soil is where they have a lot of microorganisms where they can study and do so many things that they want to do. And I asked the question, what is soil to you? My name is Augustus Asemota from Agronomy, and I am talking on sustainable agriculture, utilizing reduced tillage for soil health and yield quality. What is sustainable agriculture? Now, to a lot of people, they may have different views and different concepts on sustainable agriculture. For me, it's simple. Sustainable agriculture is that form of agriculture that protects our environment, protects our interests, and also give room for what? For future use of whatever agricultural resources that we have. The simple goal of sustainable agriculture is to what? To provide economic stability, economic profitability, and that's not the simple goal of sustainable agriculture is to improve environmental health, economic profitability, and social and economic equity. Thank you very much. If you can pass it or you want to return it, no problem. Now, why sustainability? The goal of sustainable agriculture is to meet the society food for demand, the society demand for food and textile needs in the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own need. Why is sustainability the future of agriculture? The population of the world is increasing drastically, and it's estimated that by 2050, this this means that the demand for food is increasing. And if the demand for food is increasing, how do we meet up with this demand? It means we need to produce more. And by producing more, we need to look at ways that this production does not hamper the future needs of the what? Of the next generation. We have to look at ways that if I till this particular 1 hectare of land that I have, or if I farm on this 1 hectare of land that I have, my kids, when they are of time, they'll be able to use that same land without thinking much of what to do. That is what sustainable agriculture. There are different practices that enable sustainable agriculture, but for us today, we are going to be talking about no-till, reduced tillage, or rather conservational agriculture in improving sustainable agriculture. Now, what is conventional farming and what is conservational agriculture? Now, in conventional farming, there is more and more disturbance of the soil, or conventional tillage as the case may be. There are more and more disturbance of the soil where tractors or heavy materials are being passed through the soil, tilling the soil. In conventional or in conservational agriculture, there's little or minimal disturbance in the soil. And this is actually very nice and is actually very good for sustainable agriculture, because this form of practices reduces the disturbance of agriculture, reduces the disturbance of soil organic components or soil or biological activities in the soil, which helps to improve the soil health. Reduce tillage. The method of this method of conservational tillage is nearly similar to no tillage and may differ from region to region. It aims at minimizing the damage to the topsoil. It includes the use of biological insecticides, fertilizer, mine chemicals, and also reduce farrowing. Effect of conventional tillage on soil health. This is an example of effect of conventional tillage on soil health. This is an example of effect of conventional tillage on soil. This is a soil that is low on soil organic matter, low on humus. Why? Because the soil has been tilled and the biological activities in the soil has been reduced. This is soil compaction. After passing of heavy machineries in the soil, you notice that the soil is being compacted, causing pain and reducing the reducing biological activities in the soil. Reducing biological activities in the soil, which does not aid proper soil aggregation and then causes low water retention. Soil acidity also. And these are what biological activities do to the soil. They improve the soil structure, improve water retention. And this is an example of a land that is being farmed in 2 methods: conventional tillage or conventional agriculture, or however you may call it, at the left side, and then conservational agriculture at the right side. Make no mistake, this is not an edited photo. This is a real-life photo that was taken by Professor Bartel-Gliner. Now, in the left side, you can see that this is erosion. It's causing erosion. And this other side, you can see how nice and d'objet the soil is. Reduced tillage not only conserves soil moisture, but can also lead to a 30% reduction in water usage compared to conventional tillage method, as reported by the United States Department of Agriculture. Now, not only that, reduced tillage over the years has increased the total organic carbon and also humus content. Now, you might look at it that 0.8 gram per kg is actually little, but if you look at the humus stock in 1 hectare, you can see that this is 3.6 tons per hectare of humus stock. Now, imagine the kind of fertilizer you are going to apply to get up to this during using conventional tillage method. Same with yield quality. When you use conservational method of agriculture, especially reduced tillage, you improve the soil organic matter content in the soil, and this can increase the carbon stock or the humus stock in the soil, which improves the yield quality or the yield of your crop. Benefits of no-till farming. You can see this is a pictorial demonstration of what this form of agriculture does to the soil. Less soil erosion, better water quality due to decreased sediment runoff, less carbon dioxide released to the soil, improved soil health, less need for fossil fuels powered machineries, because you don't need your machineries to run through your farm as many times as they do just to till your soil. The aim of reduced tillage is to what? is to disturb the soil as little as possible. Highly beneficial to soil life, giving a greater abundance to earthworms and other microorganisms in the soil. And when we let these microorganisms do their job, we see how d'objet. Sorry, I'm using the word d'objet, trying to be more polished these days. Now, we might say these things are only scientific or just mere talks. What are farmers saying about this? These are real life testimonies of different farmers and what they've said about conventional tillage and also reduced tillage. Now, John Smith, 56, from Iowa, says switching to reduced tillage has been a game changer for me, for my farm. Not only have we seen improvement in soil health and moisture retention, but we've also saved time, money on fuels and equipment maintenance. Our yields has been more consistent and we've noticed a decrease in pest pressure. Reduced tillage is definitely the way forward for sustainable farming. Carlos Martinez from Argentina said, in our region, soil erosion is a major concern, especially on sloping terrain. Adopting reduced tillage practices has helped us mitigate erosion and preserve our precious topsoil. We've only noticed improvement in water infiltration and retention, which has allowed us to better withstand dry periods. Reduced tillage has been a key strategy for maintaining the long-term productivity of our farm. Keyword, long-term productivity of our farm. Now, which farmer are you? According to Jack Stewart, 67 from Texas, he said, reduced tillage, this is just another one of those trending fads that will fizzle out in a few years. I've been farming the same way for decades and I don't see any reason to change now. Tilling works just fine for me and I don't need some new methods telling me how to run my farm. It's okay, Jack Stewart. Now, I'll be honest, when I first heard about reduced tillage, I was skeptical and I thought how I plant without tilling the soil. But after attending a few workshops and seeing the result firsthand on neighboring farms, I decided to give it a try. Now I'm amazed at how much time and fuel I have saved. Reduced tillage has truly transformed the way I farm. Mark from Ohio. One is skeptical about reduced tillage and one is happy that he has tried reduced tillage. Now, what do? Do you remember many of those times all we just had to do is go to the farm, till our soil, plant and all that? We take our crops and go home. Now there are a lot of things, a lot of policies, a lot of regulations, and a lot of game changers in the agricultural industry. Agriculture is not just for us alone, it is for the whole world. Just like Jack Stewart that said he doesn't need anyone to tell him how to run his farm. But then your farm is not just only about you, it is also about the environment. It is not just only about today, it is also about tomorrow. It's not only about the food you produce today, it is also what your kids will produce tomorrow. Thank you very much. And this is a basket of maize for listening to my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Just we are still at the dynamic activity, scientific activity, and soil is the dirt or not the dirt. But you have just time to discuss about this. Our food comes from this dirt. Okay, just two short questions, or even maximally 3 short questions and 2 short answers. Okay, welcome.
It's very short. My name is Ibrahim Isaf. It's very simple. How do sustainable agriculture practices influence trade opportunities for farmers in developing countries? Please, you can just appreciate that.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, like I said sustainable agriculture, one of its ways is that we are looking at ways to not just only farm for today, but also provide for what? For tomorrow. Now, in developing countries, there are less food in developing countries, but then sustainable farming, people might think that most of this sustainable farming, in particular reduced tillage or no till, are new forms of farming. They are not new forms of farming. In Africa, they are practiced. Not just only in Africa, I myself practiced it. If you notice one of the slides, please take it to, if you notice one of the slides, sorry. Now this is me, and that is tubers of cassava. Now this method, the farming that was done here was strictly no-till method. Now what we have to look at, sustainable farming is not just only for now, but also for the future. In developing countries, if they can practice more of these, they will find out that their yield are going to increase over a long period of time. What you are doing for today is also increasing for a long period of time. So if you are practicing sustainable agriculture or reduced tillage and you are producing probably years, there's every chance or every assurance that your yield is going to increase exponentially. Thank you. Compared to conventional methods, it is fixed for conventional, but in sustainable or not, it is exponential. As long as you follow the practices and policies. Now, there's not enough time for me to dive into a lot of things. As you can see, I'm rushing my presentation. But if you need more ideas, you can contact me later. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, Jason. This is just to fit the times. I think we agree with this, and we'll move to the next. And we have just a coffee time, really perfect coffee time, and much more impressions from this. Okay, thanks. The next speaker will be introduced by the general coordinator, and just I have time to have a good brush.
Thank you very much, sir. Once again, for those that are just joining us, you are all welcome once again to PULS-ISA University of Life Sciences International Student Association first MSc conference. So once again, my name is Sali Rashid Oladaride. I've been one of your hosts, and I'm the general coordinator of PULS-ISA. So right about now, I would like to invite the next speaker, who from the Department of Animal Production Management. So ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not so busy, please put your hands together for Moshi Zainab.
Performance and feed utilization of European church juvenile. And I hope that you'd enjoy this presentation as much as I did while I was preparing it. So aquaculture is a rapidly growing sector, and we can attribute the increase in aquaculture rapidly to what people have said today, increasing growing population as well as sustainability. However, aquaculture has gone beyond just feeding the human population. Aquaculture has been like a sister fold aimed at compensating conservation efforts. So now we are seeing a shift from commonly domesticated fish species. We are seeing fish with no history of domestication now being held in captivity for the first time. So this is like a first generation culturing. I'll take my breath. Okay. So in our lab, we've had a couple of projects on conservation projects, and we've had a couple of projects on European age population. We've had on Siberian sturgeons. And another key species is European church juvenile, and I'm going to tell you why this is very important. So they are important because over time, their population has been deemed decreased. So it's important to keep their level of population in moderation. Also, they are important sporting species here in Europe and Poland specifically are large. And they have other characteristics such as being pollution bioindicators and modeled for toxicological studies. So the central idea behind this project was more of restocking using nutrition. So a big part of aquaculture production is feed, of course. So aquaculture has continued to use fish from the wild natural environment, just so for the sole reasons of making fish meal to meet the protein requirements. However, we are at this point where we think that if we keep taking fish from the natural environment, just so for the sole purpose of fish meal production, they might go into extinction. So the big question is, what happens if the wild fisheries collapse from this usage? And this has necessitated the need for alternative nutritional approach that meets cost effectiveness and environmental sustainability, while trying as much as possible to meet the protein requirement of each and every species of fish. So in the past, several marine independent raw materials have been used, like plant origin source and animal origin source. However, they have limitations such as amino acid imbalance or anti-nutritional factors. Some have problems with indigestibility as well. So we are at this point where we think that this is not the end to finding an alternative. So the model is that, insects could be our novelty, because most fish species have natural inclination towards insects. So they have insect larva at insect composition at their larva stage as well as at juvenile stage. So as you can see, this slide shows at what maximum level insects can be used in replacement studies in trout, in salmon, in sturgeon, and also in cyprinian fish. So beyond they having natural inclination towards insects as part of their natural diet, we see that insect has positive gastrointestinal benefit. And this is due to bioactive compounds like antimicrobial peptides, chitin, and lauric acid. So this improves gut health a lot, decrease the population of pathogenic microbial population, and increase beneficial one. So we think that with all of these several properties like attractive smell and taste that insect has to fish, and they are significant when it comes to microbiome modulation, improved liver function. They are simply the best in contemporary nutrition studies. Hence, the goal of our study was to evaluate the possibility of using insect-derived meal as an alternative to fish meal in the diet of European chod juvenile. So I'll tell you a little bit about the experiment. This experiment was conducted at our experimental station, and we have fish kept in recirculatory aquaculture system with several capacities. So a total of about 4,000 chod juvenile with an average weight of 29 grams were randomly divided into 4 groups, and we have 5 replica each. So because from my title, we have several insects involved in this, so the effect of various diets containing these different insects were accessed on the feed utilization and fish group performance parameters. And like I've previously said, there are different insect larval meal involved in this. So we have first like a standard diet without no insect meal. Then we have subsequent insect meal with 150 grams of fish meal across all experimental diet. So this scenario is more about cutting the usage of fish meal by 50%. So you can see 300, 150, 150. So this is literally like half. Also, this slide further supports what I've said, and it shows the diet composition, because in as much as we are trying to meet the protein requirement, it's also important to keep the nutrition in balance to meet mineral requirements, to meet vitamin requirement, lipid, and other important nutrients. So this further validates what I've previously said. So the first part of the table shows fish meal 300, 150, 150. So this is cutting the usage of fish meal by 50%. Okay, so the hypothesis of our studies was that insects could potentially improve the growth performance parameters and feed utilization. And I'll tell you this assumption was right. So it was good that we carried out this experiment. So firstly, a parameter of sorry, I have hypersalivation, so I have to take my breath. Okay, so a parameter of fish growth performance is weight gain. And as you can see here, we have like fish fed the control diet, we have fish fed experimental diet containing Ematia illucens, Tenebro moliton, Ezebobas mori. So they are popularly known as black soldier fly, mealworm, and superworm. So just get familiar with H-high, TM, and ZM. So we see that here, all of the experimental diet containing this insect did well in terms of fish weight gain. So we say as a form of conclusion that we see significant difference when we compare all of these experimental diets containing insects in contrast to the control. Additionally, a parameter of feed utilization is FCR, and for people who are not nutritional experts here, it is assumed that the lower the FCR, the more we get an impression, or we are informed that these fish are able to utilize the feed properly. And as you can see, the lowest value were found in fish-fed Ematia illucens, Tenebro moliton, and Zephobas morio. And we see like a high value fish-fed the control treatment. So again, we say that all of the experimental group containing this insect species gave a favorable result. So another parameter of feed utilization is protein efficiency. And this is because we are trying so much to utilize the protein from insects. So it's important to know how efficiently this species of fish are able to utilize protein from insect larvae. So as you can see, this is entirely opposite from FCR because a higher value of PER informs that they are able to utilize protein from insect efficiently. And as you can see, fish-fed experimental diet contain Ematia illucens, tenebromoliton, and as compared to the control group. So our justifications were like, oh, the significant ones that we can see obviously from the high bar of chart were found in fish-fed Ematia illucens, tenebromoliton, while the lowest was found in control and subsequently fish-fed Zephobas morio. Okay, so as a conclusion, we say that the group performance results for church juvenile for all of the experimental group containing insects gave a satisfactory result. And this supports the inclusiveness and the potential of using insect-derived meat in European church juvenile diet. However, they say that experiments bred further experiments. So we might have further studies from this. And our further studies will be to evaluate the effect of this insect larval meal on the gastrointestinal tract development, because I said it previously that these insects have microbiome modulation properties. So it's important to evaluate the effect of this larval meal on the gastrointestinal development. Then it's also important to evaluate the effect of this larval meal on the digestibility coefficient of church juvenile. And the second further studies that could come out of this is that now that we have like a standard group across all of the experimental stations, and our focus basically was to replace, to reduce the usage of fish meal by 50%, it's important, especially for animal feed manufacturing companies that want to incorporate this ingredient in a feed formulation to know at what maximum level can they add insect to formulation if they want to. So it's also important to evaluate the level of incorporation. We have different level of incorporation and see at what maximum level are they able to utilize this protein without causing any negative physiological process on the fish. So, and this is usually done with broken line analysis that I've had experience with in the past. So it's also important to access the effect of different level of incorporation of this insect on the growth performance of church juvenile so that a maximum level of incorporation can be established. And ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm done with my presentation.
Thank you very much, Mashoud Zainab from Animal Production Management. That was a wonderful performance. So when I want to have my fish farm, I'll contact you. So is there anyone that wants to ask a question or want to entertain one or two questions for her? Is there anyone? Please tell me. Okay, we have two people.
Okay, hello, my name is Mitra, and I would like to ask you about the slides where you had the efficiency of protein thing. This was results, or the results sections. No, lower. It's protein efficiency. Yeah, those. Yeah, because d-value is 0.31, and before it was 0.56. So there's no difference. Is that the good result or it's a bad result?
The reason why I didn't have the superscript of significant difference. Oh gosh. Okay. So the reason why I didn't have the superscript that shows the level of significant difference was because there was no level of differences. But at least if other parameters of feed utilization are not showing this level of significant difference, we have an impression from weight gain, because there is like a significant difference that, oh, insect can potentially be that novelty for us in fish nutrition. So for parameters of feed, FCR and PR, there were no significant difference, but we can rely on results from weight gain to further justify our result.
Thank you.
I want to see that aquaculture is important too, not just agriculture.
Hello. It was a great presentation. I just wanted to ask you if there are currently any fish farms that are making this type of feeding, or if it could be done with other species of fishes.
Can you rephrase your question?
Sorry, like if this feeding procedure could be is already done in some fish farms in the world, and if it could be done with other fish species.
Yeah, like I've previously said, this is not the first time that we are having projects involving insect inclusion in fish, in nutrition of fish. And this has been commercialized on a large level. And I can tell you feed manufacturing company in Norway, and they've had their first batch of production with insect meal. So this is very much done for species of fish species that are very important for human nutrition, as well as conservation purposes too. So this is commercialized in commercial settings. And this is why research like this are done in the very first place, to get the industry informed that there is a novelty and there's a potential to use this insect. It's also important to tell them at what level can they use this insect. Because I had a couple of projects trying to research new ingredients and what maximum level of incorporation can they go. So this is largely on an industrial scale. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jones. This is right about now. I would like to invite the PULS-ISA coordinator for science and studies, who would invite the next speaker. Obey, peace.
Thank you so much, Rashid. Are we enjoying ourselves so far? I need a response. Are you enjoying yourself so far? Yeah. Yes or no? Okay, very nice. Okay, so we'll be having our fourth presentation for this conference by Ashley Shiman from the Department of Biotechnology. And let's give him a high round of applause as okay, she as she comes home.
Hello, everyone. My topic is the relationship between P53 and delta 40 isoform and its impact on colorectal cancer cell fate under genotoxic stress conditions. P53 protein is a tumor suppressor protein, and it plays an important role in cell cycle regulation. In normal conditions, it found in low level in the cell, but in stress conditions, it can activate it and forms a homotetramer structure. And it also triggers downstream genes in response to various stress conditions. And P53 has a lot of isoforms, but the most important one is the delta 40. This isoform can affect the function of P53, and they can build a heterotetramer structure. Also, the ratio between the proteins P53 and delta 40 isoform is an important factor in cell stress response. P53 is very important in cancer because more than 50% of human cancers are related with the mutation on P53 gene. Colorectal cancer is one of the most common cancer in the world in terms of incidence and mortality. It is also one of the cancer types with the highest P53 mutation rate. So we wanted to focus on this cancer type in our study. We wanted to show how the relationship between P53 and delta 40 isoform influences colorectal cancer cell response to doxorubicin treatment. And we wanted to analyze of the changes in the expression of P53 dependent genes, P21 and BAX, in the presence of increasing amount of delta 40 under normal and stress conditions. We used two different types of cell lines: HEC cells, human kidney cells that are healthy cells, HCT cells, human colorectal cancer cells. We used different types of solutions and buffers for cell culture, transfection, and Western blot analysis. And electrophoresis, we used 1% agarose gel and 10% STS gel. And we used different types of antibodies to recognize p53, delta 40, and downstream genes. Also, we used 3 different types of plasmids. pcDNA3-GFP plasmid that encodes GFP protein. P1, P53F for express full-length P53, and P11 vector is express delta 40 isoform. First, we performed bacteria transformation by heat shock method, and then we inoculated the bacteria to the bigger scale, and we isolated the plasmids by using commercial kits. In cell culture, for hex cells, we used man medium with 10% FPS and 1% FPS and 1% antibiotics. And these are our microscope images from our study. In cell transfection, we transfected the cells by GFP vector at the final concentration 250 nanograms, and P11 vector at 50, 100, and 250 nanograms. And then we added stress agent doxorubicin to the cells, and we collected the cells. In Western blot, we used 10% STS gel for electrophoresis, and then we transferred the proteins from the gel to the membrane. And after that, we checked the membrane by Ponceau staining. There is an example from Ponceau. And we incubated the membrane by primary antibodies and secondary antibodies. This is our preliminary results in hex cell. We wanted to see the expression of full-length p53 and delta 40 isoform. So we used PAP antibody that recognizes both antibodies, both proteins, and we transfected the cells by pcDNA GFP vector, P1 vector, and P11 vector at 2 different concentrations, 125 and 250 nanograms. And we didn't observe any significant change in the full-length p53 expression, depends on the concentration. But for delta 40, we observed increasing amount. And we choose GFP protein and GFP vector and P11 vector for the next step of our study. In the next step in HCT cells, first we wanted to check the transfection efficiency of the GFP protein, and we checked the cells under the light microscope and fluorescent microscope. In Western blot analysis, we wanted to see the impact of increasing amount of delta 40 on the expression of P21 gene that is responsible for cell cycle arrest, and the Bach's pro-apoptotic gene in HCT cells. We observed higher level of p53 expression under the stress conditions. And for the downstream genes, we observed increasing amount under stress conditions. Also, in the presence of delta 40, we observed weaker activation of these genes. This result is more pronounced in the Bach's gene. And we can also see that in the graphic that we calculated the intensity of the bands, and according to the control protein, JPDH. And then we wanted to see the viability of the cells by MTT assay. Under stress conditions, we observed lower viability of the cells by in the control cells and the cells transfected with GFP vector. And for the delta 40, the cells transfected with delta 40, we didn't observe any significant change under stress conditions. In conclusion, in the excess amount of delta 40, we observed lower level of expression of pro-apoptotic gene bugs under stress conditions. And our results are in line with the observation for breast cancer cell line but contrary to the melanoma cancer cell line. And so we can say that the data 40 can show different effects under different cancer cell types under stress conditions. And also overexpression of delta 40 causes lower sensitivity of colorectal cancer cells to doxorubicin treatment. And so this could make the cells more resistant to chemotherapy. In future perspective, a modulation of delta 40 expression could be the alternative pathway for anti-cancer therapy.
Thank you so much, Hasley, for that interesting presentation. And do we have any question from the audience, panelists, for Hasley? Okay.
One question. Can you tell me which kind of cloning method was used to introduce insert into these vectors you have mentioned?
And for cell transfection, we used lipofectamine solution, and we prepared the solution and directly introduced to the cells.
Okay. I'm Wewale from Madam Miskevich University, and I'm really glad to be here. I would like to ask more like a general question that do we have a particular or maybe a gene that can that easily points at this is colorectal cancer? Can I just have a name of because I know that there is most times when we see BRCA1 and 2, can easily say, okay, this is ovarian cancer or breast cancer. Do we have something like that also in colorectal cancer? Thank you.
Do you mean, could you repeat?
Like, or more like a specific gene. Do we have like something more like a specific gene that we can easily use to say that, oh, this is colorectal cancer?
Actually, we focused on the P53 gene that is also found in all cancer cells, but it has different responses and different functions, depends on the cancer type.
Thank you very much, Hasley. Thank you very much.
Hello, it's a real honor to invite a student on environmental engineering and protection, Kodwa Dwamena, to present geospatial analysis impact of illegal mining on cocoa growing areas in southwest Ghana. The floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Chinebua Kudia Jamlan from Ghana, and the title of this research is Geospatial Analysis, the Impact of Illegal Gold Mining in Cocoa Farms in the Southwest of Ghana. Gold, for some time, Ghana was called the Gold Coast because we had an abundance of gold. So gold plays a significant role in our economy, and it has transcended into the culture of the people. Aside gold, we also have other resources that serve as a backbone of our country, and that resource is cocoa. I'm tempted to say this, that if you are in this room and you've ate any chocolate product, maybe you've ate cocoa from Ghana. And then with the cocoa, we have this chart showing that Ghana is the second largest producer of cocoa beans in the world. And at the same time, Ghana is the largest gold producer in Africa. This shows that these two resources are a foundation or a bedrock for the Ghanaian economy. And it takes us back to the title, the impact of illegal gold mining on cocoa. So one way or the other, gold is affecting the growth of cocoa in Ghana. Other significance of gold and cocoa. We can see from here there's a value chain of these two resources. So if we bring cocoa to the world market, it brings money back into the country, supporting the GDP. It's the same thing with gold. And at the same time, if there is enough money in the system, it promotes employment. So there's a farmer who is employed. There's also a caretaker who is employed, meaning that cocoa farming promotes employment. And also gold mining also promotes employment. The study area, like I mentioned, is Ghana. The green region is a region called Ashanti region. And then the small red we see is this study region called Amansia district, which is a cocoa district. The objectives of this research was to monitor illegal mining, utilize satellite images to map the extent of land cover changes in cocoa growing areas due to the expansion of illegal gold mining. Our methods. The first thing we did was to download satellite images, Landsat 8 satellite images from the Earth Explorer for the year 2015 and 2023. And then we see here what we call NDVI classification. What NDVI classification means is we use satellite images to see vegetation covers that we have. Whether if it's close to 1, it means it has a higher vegetation. It is close to -1, it means it's either a water body or a bare land. So the NDVI classification is actually computerized. When you just feed into the system, everything comes for you. And then the next thing that we did was to get cocoa area data. Lucky enough, Abu et al. Did this research, this work for us, where there was already a pre-existing data on cocoa areas in Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. So what I did was to use what we call supervised image classification with the same images only from the satellites, and then I did an intersection. So the intersection is to find the changes between the year 2015 and the year 2023 using the NVDI, and to find the changes between the year 2015 and 2023 using supervised image classification, to see if there is any significant difference over the years, and to see if truly illegal gold mining has an effect on cocoa farms. Analysis of the change maps, and then to find a relationship between that and cocoa production. So the first we see here is an NDVI classification of cocoa maps in 2015, where the green portions show areas with vegetation, and then the red portions show areas with no vegetation. Now, this is for 2023. Without even going to the next slide, you can see that the red portions have increased, showing clearly that there has been an expansion with areas with no vegetation in this district. The next analysis was using the supervised image classification, which also bears similar resemblance, where we find water bodies and then we find mine pits, barren land, vegetation, and shrubs. Just to say, cocoa is classified as a shrub. That is why we have the shrub here. And in 2023, we can see that the barren land has expanded and the mine pits has also expanded. However, the shrubs in these areas have reduced. The next thing we did is to use the change map for the NVDI, find a difference between the changes in 2015 and 2023 using the NVDI, and the change maps for supervised classification. And as you can see here, that the non-vegetation area is large now. You can see we can see parts of deforestation in these areas, and then we can see vegetation unchanged. That means they remain constant. And then this area was for change maps in supervised classification, where we can have similar resemblance from this. However, the only difference is with this, I had to train data sets that identify that this is a cocoa farm or this is not a cocoa farm. Observation from random points in Google Earth Engine. You can see this, all these four images taken are the exact same points. Over time, we can see the illegal mining happening around this area. There's an expansion, and in 2020, almost the area here has been depleted. The change detection. From this first graph, we can see in 2015, the area with no vegetation wasn't that high, but in 2023, it is higher compared to 2015. It's the same thing using the change detection, we can see similar resemblance. So this clearly shows us that illegal gold mining in cocoa growing areas has an impact on cocoa production. To further reiterate, this is the global cocoa beans production since 2020. And represents Ghana. And it has been going down the line since 2020. So, like I mentioned earlier, the objective of our research has been achieved. And we can see that clearly illegal gold mining has an impact on cocoa farms. Some conclusions that we can see here, that in 2015 and 2023, the image analysis shows that there are signs of illegal mining activities in Amansia West District. Also, there's a relationship or an intricate play between illegal gold mining and then cocoa farming. The expansion of illegal mining in the district has led to a decrease in cocoa production, and the rate of deforestation is likely to affect the economy if there is no coordination between authorities and all stakeholders. The last but not least, the availability of reference data was quite difficult to obtain. Regardless, we've been able to achieve our objectives. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any of our audience have any question or comment?
Thank you for your amazing presentation, Mr. Tweneboa. I really got it correctly. Yes, I really appreciate the fact that you pointed out a lot of issues, what illegal mining is doing to cocoa plantation. But what do you think can be the solution to these problems? What solutions can you give to this big problem that you highlighted? Thank you.
Okay, so first, because of time, I couldn't explain a lot of things. There are two types of mining we have in Ghana. We have the large-scale mining and then artisanal gold mining. So the artisanal gold mining is usually pan and then axe. But now they're using excavators for that. And then in 2017, the government of Ghana did something that they call an interministerial committee. And this was formed purposely to control the expansion of illegal mining. Unfortunately, some of the things they proposed did not tally with the things on the ground. An example was to use UAVs to monitor the expansion of gold mining. And then we didn't have the resources for that. So using satellite images, you have a broader area to observe the happenings of illegal gold mining. The next thing is to create more sustainable ways of mining, because the price of gold at the moment will motivate someone who is home unemployed to venture into gold mining because it's quite high. And then the price of cocoa in Ghana, although it's a sustainable job, as compared to gold, gold is higher. So people want to sell their cocoa farms and venture into gold mining. However, it's not sustainable because after destroying your land, it takes so many years for land reclamation, which is not sustainable. Thank you.
I would like to invite Professor.
Move just to your side, but I have got some microphone here, and I think it saves time. I think that's we have got 5 powerful presentations. I think you agree with me that it was a powerful, how to say, concentration of knowledge, and now it is the time for refreshment. Before we go into refreshment, I suggest just to have the so-called outdoor common photo. It will give us just some memory. Maybe next year that's we're in team and we are just how to say all together. And before you go to refreshment, I will just ask we go outside for only 2 to 3 minutes to take good photos, family photos, and so-called scientific photos. And welcome, and next we go safely for refreshments. Thank you, and really applause to the whole yes, and the time to come back from the break, I'm sorry, yes, we come back at 12:50, okay, 12:50. We have really a lot of time. And we have a team of good food from students from food technology, food science, and they have a good stand. And this applause for these food science students who are really giving us a good, and this was financed by the department, faculty of technology and food science. Welcome, just enjoy your food. And they are waiting for you to serve you really best. Thank you.